the consulting industry, we added it all up, is the equivalent of a large university in terms of the amount of money it spends on developing its people, and it's all postgraduate education, effectively. So, I think a variety of things. I mean, I don't forget that there is a great diversity of needs within consultancy, and the challenges are changing all the time. I think perhaps the biggest challenge for individual firms is how to keep their existing staff up to date, not just in terms of business skills, but in terms of the technology and some of the attitudinal changes that are being asked of them.
Clients increasingly want people who are capable of working with them and helping to co-create solutions to what is a very, very dynamic and volatile world. I think in that environment, it is interesting to question what the role of MBAs does play. I mean, the MBAs grew in their popularity in the 60s, 70s and 80s, sort of peak MBA in the sort of late 80s. But I think we have to recognise that the kind of classic MBA education has played its part in what happened and the crash. And it's great to see that there are some rethinking going on with it, but only some actually, interestingly, around what the MBA process looks like. And I think therefore selecting very carefully, if you're going to invest in an MBA, is it educating for a world that has gone, or is it equipping you for a world that is now coming?
That well-planned MBA was created about 5 years ago, and it was very unique. So unique that the Association of MBA, that accredits MBAs around the world, gave us an innovation award. We were redefining the meaning of an MBA in a world that was post-financial crisis, where the blame was placed onto business schools for playing their part. So Exeter wanted to move on and redefine the MBA. And so we partnered with NGOs, WWF International, a business school partnering with an NGO that made headlines at the time, and about 10 corporate partners, big names, IBM, SAP, Lloyds Banking Group, Canon, Coca-Cola, all coming together in order to rethink what tomorrow's business leaders should look like, and how should they behave, and how should they work, and how should they lead and manage their organizations. So the curriculum evolves every year because the world is changing. I think that the pace of change has accelerated, in particular with the Uberization of the economy, making potentially professional work redundant. We're all at risk of being made redundant sooner or later. So we bring on 2 new modules. We've got one which is about emerging business models. How can senior or middle-level managers benefit from, for example, the sharing economy? How can they tap into that opportunity? How can they discover a new world for themselves by turning into producers, entrepreneurs, as well as consumers? How can they be mindful of their legacy in this world? How can they be conscious of their responsibilities without necessarily producing CSR reports? Actually, it's about walking the talk more than it is about talking. And it's about joining forces and working with those organizations and coming up with very practical ways of assessing the participants. We don't do exams in that MBA. We don't do exams. They work together in order to solve issues in partnership with corporate partners. For example, they would undertake an innovation audit. They would address a challenge. Coca-Cola would come onto the MBA and say, can you help us? We need to change the behaviors of our consumers. We need them to recycle more. We need them to be more aware of what we're doing. Can you help us? And that's the way we do the MBA. And it's about producing a different generation of business leaders, because the world has changed and business needs to change.